What are we doing today? It's Terry Tillard here from healthandwealth.ca. I want to give you a quick update. I haven't done this in a while for you guys. Unfortunately, life and other projects kind of get in the way. So here's a quick economic update to start with. 1873, we had a crash that looked a lot like this. Actually, September, October time of the year, the market tanked roughly 40%. It then rallied for 4 or 5 months, and after that rally it continued to drop for another 4 years, all the way down until it lost 90% of its value. Guess what happened in the Great Depression? Exactly the same thing, virtually the exact same time frame, rally, 4 years, complete dropping. We're going into the same thing. I've been calling this the Greater Depression. And I've been very accurate. I've been accurate in video, radio, magazines, live events. I've been saying this stuff for years. Those who have listened have done very well. Even if they haven't gone and taken a lot of action in terms of investing, a lot of them have at least cut off their losses and cut their bleeding well over a year ago when I told them they ought to, and they've kept a lot of their net worth. Many people opted not to. In fact, I've got some personal friends who've come out to several events, many of whom have lost tens of thousands of dollars, some of whom have lost over $100,000. There is a price to inaction. There is a price to apathy. There is a price to doing nothing. There is a price to staying home and not getting educated and not learning about the world around you. And just to give you an idea, for a quick example, I highly recommended gold and silver last year. They both finished up roughly 20-30% at the end of last year. They're both up again 20-30% this year already. So that's about 60% above ground, while everyone else is over 50% below ground, depending on where you are in the world and when and how and whatever you did. Those are the details. That's fine. The point is that we've been very successful, and you can also follow us. I recommend people start investing intelligently. If you're going to buy, hold, and pray, you were in for some serious troubles. The world is no longer the same place, and anybody under that illusion who thinks it's going to be all the same in a few years from now has lost their mind. Anyone who's expecting the next 20 years to look a lot like the last 20 did, completely in for a massive disappointment. You're setting yourself up. I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. Change isn't always bad, but we are going to go through some serious turmoil. There are some growing pains in change. Short term, we're going to have lots of pain. Long term, things hopefully will look better, but regardless of how they look, they'll be much different. And the point is, in the process, you can lose everything you've got, including all your comforts, everything that you know in this world. All the systems as we know them are about to collapse. I can't even begin to mention how many different systems are going to collapse. But anyway, there's the silver lining in this cloud. That means there's lots of opportunity. Lots of change means disappearing old factions. These holes need to get filled up. That's the big economy, though. Your personal economy can be very different. As an entrepreneur, as small businesses can do very well. I think there'll be a return to a lot more local commerce. You can totally take care of that stuff. Lots of ways to do good things. I hope you're just doing some of them. It's not all about doom and gloom, but you got to do something different. You can't do what you always did and expect, different results. It's crazy. And now when the world's changing, you're not going to change with it. I mean, you're in trouble. Anyway. Let's talk a little bit about my stock program real quick. You guys have lost the opportunity to make some good money already, but the major rally hasn't yet hit. And now gold and silver are in kind of a flux, and I think mining and energy companies are going to do well. As you both know, it's probably a pretty good time to buy both of them. So why don't you get on board already? Stop thinking about it. If you have questions, just call and ask. I'm never going to hard sell. I don't pressure sell. I don't do that stuff. If you don't like it, then don't do it. If it's free, then great. Everybody's going to win a little bit here in this market that's terrible for everybody. Let me give you the analogy of the stock program. It's a lot like going to the casino. If you're going to put off your investments to somebody else or listen to some random guru who tells you real estate always goes up, as you've seen the evidence, that is not the case, and it's going to continue to fall. Or if you're doing mutual funds or buy, holding, and praying or index funds, you're in for a lot of trouble. Sorry, you just are in a lot of trouble. I don't mean that disrespectfully to anybody, but that's just the case. That's the truth. So make sure that's not you. Otherwise, if you get into a stock trading program like mine, it's like playing blackjack. You have a high statistical odds before you put your bet down, and if we lose something, we get the ego aside, we cut off the losses wherever they are, and we get into something else. You swallow the pride, you get on, you move on, but you got to do something different. So hey, there's an option I'm offering to people. Take it or leave it. The debt program I want to talk about. Canada is actually losing jobs twice as fast per capita as the U.S. And the U.S. has already lost 1 million jobs just this year alone, and many more on the way. The economy is not going to get better, guys. It's going to spiral out of control. Obama's spending is ridiculous. It's going to create hyperinflation, which also means with your capital, your investable dollars, whatever you had in mutual funds, RSPs, stock market, whatever, that money is going to get eroded through inflation. So you can't not do anything. You've got to do something. And I'm not saying I'm the end-all, know-it-all, be-it-all, whatever, but I've got a real good option for you. At least explore it. My debt program. I can get you out of debt for probably 20%, less than 20% of what you're currently in line to pay. We can save you a ton of time, money, interest, headache, and find someone else to finance some or all of it. So for you to be sitting on the sidelines and not asking me is crazy. Put your ego aside. 97% of the population is buried in debt. Everyone's made mistakes. Everyone's failed. I've failed. I've been in debt before. Everybody's had problems. Okay, guys? So swallow the pride. Just get it handled. It's not about the problems or the failures. Most of the successful people fail the most. That's how they're successful. So you failed. Big deal. What are you going to do about it is what matters. Anyway, I've got a lot more resources than that which I'm talking about today. Come on out to the live events if you haven't checked them out. Get over to the website. It's a free newsletter. It's not salesy. It's very educational on both subjects. A lot of non-mainstream news. So you'd be shocked at some of the things that you would learn on there. Again, it's free. It's www.health.wealth.ca. That's health.wealth.ca. Love to see you out, guys. I sure hope you're going to do something different in 2009 than 2008 because the world won't wait around for you while it's changing. I hope to see you out, guys. Take care. Terry Tillard again, signing out. Have a